Emma's head pounded as consciousness dragged her back. The sterile scent of antiseptic and leather filled her nose. Where? She bolted upright, her body screaming in protest. The room was unfamiliar, a gilded cage of dark wood and velvet drapes. No windows. One locked door. Kidnapped. Her pulse roared in her ears. The last thing she remembered was the parking garage, the prick of a needle in her neck, a hand clamping over her mouth. The door creaked open. A man stood in the threshold, tall, broad-shouldered, with a face carved from shadows and sharp angles. His green eyes glinted like broken glass under the dim light. Emma scrambled back. "Who the hell are you?" He stepped inside, moving with the quiet precision of a predator. "You weren't supposed to be there." "Yeah, well, I wasn't supposed to wake up in a stranger's dungeon either," she snapped, her voice raw. His jaw tightened. "You were mistaken for someone else." "Mistaken?" She let out a hysterical laugh. "So this is what, an oops kidnapping?" A muscle flickered in his cheek. "Now you're a liability." The word slithered down her spine. "Are you going to kill me?" He studied her, long, unnerving. Then, without a word, he turned and left. The lock clicked behind him. Emma's breath came in short, panicked bursts. Mistaken identity. Liability. Worse than being taken. Being kept. Emma counted the grooves in the ceiling for the third time. The door opened with its usual quiet click. Lucas entered, carrying a tray, steak, potatoes, a glass of red wine. As if this were some twisted bed and breakfast. She sat up, crossing her arms. "What, no mince on the pillow?" He set the tray on the bedside table, his expression unreadable. "Eat." "Not hungry." Her stomach betrayed her with a growl. Lucas didn't smile, but something flickered in those hunters' eyes. "Suit yourself." She watched as he turned to leave. Again. Always leaving. "Wait." The word escaped before she could stop it. He paused, glancing back. "You can't just kidnap me and then refuse to talk to me," she said. "That's rude." A beat. Then, almost imperceptibly, his shoulders relaxed. "What do you want to know?" Emma gaped. "How about why I'm here? Who you thought I was? Whether you've got, like, a kidnapper's handbook with all this silent brooding in it." "Ex-military," he interrupted. "Not a kidnapper." "Oh, my mistake. This is clearly a hostage rescue." She gestured to the locked door. His lips twitched. "Just once. Barely there." Emma's breath caught. That tiny crack in his armor was more unnerving than any threat. Lucas reached for the doorknob. "The steak's better warm." Then he was gone, leaving her with more questions than answers, and the unsettling sense that her biggest danger wasn't the locked door. It was the man who kept closing it. The storm raged outside, rattling the windows. When the lights cut out, Emma froze, her breath shallow in the suffocating dark. The door creaked open. Lucas stood silhouetted in the doorway, flashlight casting sharp angles across his face. "Still alive? Disappointed?" Her voice wavered. Thunder cracked. She flinched. He stepped closer. "You're scared. Of you? Please." She lifted her chin as lightning flashed, betraying her white-knuckled grip on the sheets. Lucas sat on the bed's edge, making the mattress dip. Too close. His heat radiated through the space between them, smelling of leather and rain. Another boom. Emma jerked, her knee brushing his thigh. His gaze dropped to her mouth. Her pulse pounded. "If you're waiting for me to beg, I'm waiting for you to admit it." His voice roughened. "That you need me." The lights surged back. He stood abruptly, retreating to the door. But not before she saw it, the hunger in his eyes, mirroring her own. "Sleep," he ordered. Emma smirked. "Make me." The slam of the lock was his only reply. Emma's fingers trembled as she unscrewed the vent cover. She wriggled through the dusty duct, elbows scraping metal. Freedom smelled like mildew and hope, until she dropped straight into Lucas's study. He looked up from his whiskey. "Took you long enough." She bolted for the French doors. He moved like lightning, pinning her against the bookshelf. Leather-bound volumes dug into her back as his body caged hers. "You knew about the vent," she gasped. His breath warmed her neck. "I know everything about this house." She kneed his thigh, he grunted but didn't budge. "Let me go." "Not until you understand." His grip tightened. "The men after you? They don't take prisoners." A crash echoed downstairs. Lucas went rigid. Emma felt his heartbeat accelerate against her back. "Too late," he muttered. Footsteps pounded up the staircase. Lucas shoved a knife into her hand. His eyes burned with terrifying certainty. "Now you choose. Run." The door exploded inward. "Or fight with me." Gunfire shattered the study's window. Emma ducked as Lucas shoved her behind the desk. "Stay down." A masked figure lunged, she slashed with the knife he'd given her, catching the attacker's arm. Blood sprayed. Lucas moved like a storm, disarming two men with brutal efficiency. But the third raised his gun. Crack, asterisk. Lucas jerked backward. Crimson bloomed across his shoulder. Emma's scream lodged in her throat. She caught him as he stumbled, dragging him toward the panic room. His blood smeared hot on her hands. "Why?" she gasped, barricading the door. "You could have let me die." Lucas slumped against the wall, face pale. "Not an option." She pressed a wad of fabric to his wound. His heartbeat thundered under her palm. His fingers brushed her wrist. "You fight, like a hellcat." Emma choked out a laugh. "You kidnap like an amateur." His lips curved, then his eyes fluttered shut. Her chest tightened. "Lucas? Lucas?" Outside, footsteps pounded closer. Emma grabbed the knife. Sunlight streamed through the safe house windows as Lucas stood stiffly by the glass, his bandaged shoulder proof of their survival. "You can leave now," he said without turning. "You're safe." Emma studied the rigid line of his back, the way his fingers flexed like he was stopping himself from reaching for her. She crossed the room in 3 strides. "Make me," she challenged, sliding her hand into his. Lucas turned. His eyes, those piercing green eyes, burned into hers with raw intensity. For a heartbeat, neither moved. Then he cupped her face, his thumb brushing her cheekbone. "This is your last chance to run." Emma rose on her toes. "I warned you," she whispered against his lips. "I'm the dangerous one." His mouth crashed down on hers. The kiss was fire and desperation, Lucas's good arm banding around her waist as she fisted his shirt. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. Lucas rested his forehead against hers. "Still want to escape?" Emma bit his lower lip. "Try and stop me."
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe.